After a while, the path splits into 3 directions. To the left is a descending staircase, while the path on the right extends into darkness. As I start to slowly descend the stairs in the dim light, I stretch my hands out in front of me to try and feel for something. However, all I'm greeted with is the moist feeling of these grimy stone walls. We've descended the staircase. To the left lies a huge stone archway, and to the right, we can see a narrow path twisting into the darkness.
Are you serious? There's no way in hell I'm going back there to be eaten alive!
Yeah, losing a leg or two wouldn't do a thing for your girlish figure. Having stopped before the atrium, we once again come to the ominous mouth of truth.
Maybe there's something we didn't try before.
Kid says, taking out her personal effects and holding them out at me. Me again? Kid smiles at me innocently. Amidst my hesitation, I reach for one of her accessories. I take the hand-shaped plate. Its strange, contorted symbols give me a headache just by looking at them. Nervously, I reach in and place it onto the tongue. It's a perfect fit! Sliding it into place, I quickly remove my hand and back away a few steps. The huge white eyes start moving around slowly, and a slight vibration can be felt from behind the wall. Something's happening. Something big. I just wish I knew whether it was good or bad. An odd sound escapes from the mouth of truth as its eyes continue to roll. I want to make a run for it. However, I look over and see the ever-fearless expression in Kid's eyes and stay my ground. Suddenly, the marble sculpture stops moving. I stare at it, wondering what's going on. Then, its long tongue starts to roll back inside its mouth, while its eyes tilt further and further upwards until its pupils disappear underneath its eyelids. We hear the plate sliding down its throat, vanishing into the deep, dark depths of the mansion. What's happening?
Apparently a pious being such as this may roll its eyes from time to time.
Huh?
The simple fact that Magil tried to make a joke just there makes me stop and forget where I am for a second.
All that's gonna happen is you're gonna lose another one of my things. I could have got a lot of cash for that.
Kid says regrettably. Suddenly, over by the atrium, we start to hear some sort of latch being opened. And then, moments later, the sound of water draining echoes throughout the corridor. Taking a few steps toward the atrium, I see the red water has formed into a whirlpool and is flowing down into the pond. The piranhas are being washed away.
What's the matter, little fishies? Not enough water? Aw, playtime's over, you nasty buggers.
Come on! I'm dying to see what's past that fountain. After a bit of walking, we come to an old-looking door with a brass handle.
I hate doors!
Damn it! Another locked door.
I don't get it. There's no smell of gold or nothing.
This leads to Viper Manor's catacombs,
says Magil hesitantly. He's right. Standing here in silence, I realize there's a faint scent of death on the air. And then, putting my ear to the door, I start to hear deep, tortured moans from far beyond. I jump back, looking at the door. Let's try somewhere else. After a little ways down the passageway, we come to a descending staircase. We slowly walk down the stairs, taking us deep below ground. It's as though we're descending further and further into an endless abyss. Once we reach the bottom, we come to another split. We can go left or right, but both paths look equally dismal. After a little ways, we're presented with a sturdy set of doors. A wooden plaque has been hung above the doorframe. Only one word is written on it. Armory.
Armory, eh? The key to the catacombs has got to be in here.
Kid places her ear on the door.
Not a peep.
Someone is here, however. With a book in hand, a single goblin sits in a chair, humming to itself. A sweet aroma fills the room, presumably from the teacup sitting on the table before it. There's something different about this goblin. It doesn't seem hostile in the least. Looking up from its book, it examines us from behind its bifocals.
Ah, welcome. It's rare to have visitors all the way down here.
Too bad we're not guests.
Kid shouts,
If you want to live, tell us where the key to the catacombs is.
and with that, Kid takes her knife and thrusts it into the desk, slicing through the tablecloth. The goblin remains docile.
Ah, you must be the elusive kid. I so wanted to see you with my own eyes. We've all heard so much about you.
But before it can finish its sentence, Kid grabs the knife and hurls it through the air. The goblin sets its book down, now unreadable due to the 7-inch blade protruding through it. It removes the knife and places it on the table.
Your reputation precedes you. You are quite a radical young lady. Nevertheless, it's a shame. I wanted to see how that novel ended up. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Esmeld.
It says, offering a simple introduction.
Please, I do hate to keep my guests standing at bay. Come, sit and we shall converse over tea.
My first thought is that it's poisoned. Despite my concerns, Magil sits down. Trusting Magil, I sit down next to him. Surely he's got something up his sleeve. Looking at Kid, she truly doesn't want anything to do with this. She remains standing, keeping a vigilant eye on Esmeld. Black tea is set for 3 at the table.
Ah, there we are.
After a moment, Magil takes the teacup and brings it slowly to his mouth. He takes a sip and then sets the cup back on the table. Esmeld smiles.
Ah, Himalayan chimpanzee. I've not had this blend in quite some time.
Magil says.
I see you are a gentleman of fine taste. I will have you know, not many of my visitors have known of this type of black tea.
Listening to their banter, I stare at my cup. Could it really be poisoned? Picking up the teacup, I bring it close to my mouth. It doesn't smell so bad. Delicious! I exclaim. I've never had anything like this before. I loosen up a bit, sitting back in my chair. Oh, wait a sec. What's going on? My wounds. They're being healed. Looking over towards Kid, she seems to be enjoying it as well.
So, let's get down to business. Certainly the key to the catacombs has to be around here somewhere. Whether I remember where it is, however, that's a different story.
So, could we trade you something for it? Is there something you'd like in exchange?
Something I want. Your life, perhaps?
He says, as his eyes light up from behind his glasses.
Oh, you misunderstand, young man. I do not wish to harm you.
Esmeld says, noticing the sudden look of shock on my face.
I enjoy chatting with the many types of visitors that we have in this mansion. Surely as an adventurer, you must have plenty of stories to tell.
Adding to this, he looks in my direction with a smile.
I look highly on unique stories, and have been known to reward such storytellers.
Staring down at the dark liquid before me, I start to rack my brain for a really good story. Okay, I've got it! On one particular evening, a small girl walked through a dark, dreary forest. The girl suddenly came across a large beetle. Taking it back to her home, the girl painted the beetle from head to toe with shiny golden paint.
A fine beginning, perhaps. Is that all?
No! One evening, while the girl was walking through the forest, she came across a beetle. She took it home, painting it with shiny golden paint. The next morning, the girl went to town to sell the beetle. Claiming it was a good luck beetle, she showed it to many travelers and eventually sold it for an outrageous sum of money.
Yeah, Serge. And I'll bet the girl's name was Kid, wasn't it?
From beside me, chills run down my spine as I hear Kid question me in her coldest tone. I made it up, Kid, I whisper to her. Maybe she really did do something like that in the past. Glancing at her, I see her eyes start to cloud over. Then, suddenly, she starts choking me, wrapping both her hands around my neck.
How do you know about all this?
Kid yells, strangling me. From behind me, I see Esmeld pull out one of his tea bags. Noticing it, she suddenly forgets all about me, her eyes lighting up at the sight of the tea.
Perhaps some of my precious black tea leaves can be used to prevent against ruckus in here.
Kid immediately snatches the tea bag.
It was a fairly entertaining story. I am a goblin of my word, and as such, I shall give you the key.
He says, knocking on a certain spot on a nearby wall. A secret compartment opens, from where he takes the key. He hands it to us with a smile on his face. Thanking him, we leave the room. After a little while, the passage ends at a small door.
Hey, I smell home cooking. Oh, it's just a small kitchen.
For the servants, probably, I add. I look around the tiny room. There's a sink, pots and pans, and a bunch of food in the cupboards. A rat hangs in a cage off in a corner, but aside from that, it's a pretty average kitchen. Kid walks over to a deep saucepan and peers inside.
Smells fresh. Want some grub, Serge?
Sure. I timidly peer into the saucepan. It looks like some sort of stew. Using the ladle on the stove, I reach in and take a big scoop. Delicious. Kid looks at me again. After a moment of hesitation, she comes over.
Quit hogging it all for yourself, mate.
She says, taking the ladle and sniffing the warm mixture.
Want some, Magil?
No, thank you.
We take some bowls from the shelves and serve ourselves some more. As we eat more and more, the stew's warmth flows all through us. I feel great. But then, all of a sudden, a quiet, shrill voice echoes out. It seems to be coming from over by the cage.
Ah, what an independent young lad! Are all the boys wearing braids these days?
I stop and look at Kid.
Who's there?
Looking over in the direction of the voice, we see nothing but the single rat. It stares at us with its small, beady eyes.
Excuse me. You're a girl, not a boy.
It looks like Kid can't decide whether to be puzzled or infuriated by all this. But just between you and me, I don't think this is the first time her personality has led someone to think she's a guy. At any rate, the brown rat continues.
Listen, please, kind humans. I am trapped within a most unfortunate situation. While on my way to the kitchen this morning to bring home some food for my mother, goblins seized me and trapped me here in this cage. Unless I can escape, I am to be a side dish for their next meal.
A side dish? Listening to the rat, Kid walks over to the sink.
Please, you must help me. My desperately ill mother awaits my return.
The rat pleads, its eyes twinkling in the light. However, I look over towards Kid. She's over by the sink, her face getting redder and redder.
Stupid rat! Don't even know a lady when you see one!
Kid yells, stomping out of the kitchen.
Oh, young lady, I did not mean to.
With Kid gone, the rat turns towards me.
Brother, help me.
I understand. I open the cage door. The rat quickly scurries out. The rat laughs as a strange smile comes over its face.
You really are a bunch of fools.
Spitting out those words, the rat suddenly starts to tremble before rapidly growing in size, growing larger and larger by the second.
Oh my god, Serge, you did not!
It's a griffin!
Stupid humans. You're just in time for lunch. My mother's, that is.
Damn it, Serge, you walked right into its trap!
Oh man, what was I thinking? The griffin rises up onto its hind legs, screeching and flapping its huge wings. Suddenly, its sharp talons swoop down out at us.
Hit the deck, the lot of you!
I frantically try to dodge the beast, hoping to avoid those terrifying 3-inch claws. I managed to avoid its blow, but now I'm cornered into the back of the room. As it inches near me for a strike, it rises up onto its hind legs once again, this time even higher than before. However, in a moment of blind luck, the griffin suddenly loses balance on the slippery floor and comes crashing to the ground.
Oh, you showed him, Serge!
Wow, talk about close calls. I let out a breath of relief as I stand over the griffin, wondering what to do next.
So, you ugly little rat. Now who's stupid?
Wait, please, I beg you. Kind, beautiful human girl. Totally a girl. I am aware of valuable information. If you promise to spare my life, I will tell you a special secret of the mansion.
I dunno. You lied already, you bugger. I'd rather just kill you and have it be over with.
Kid says, taking a step closer.
Kid, let us hear what he has to say.
Magil says, coming between them. Kid pauses for a second and then steps back.
Oh, thank you.
That would have been fun.
Kid says, shrugging.
One day, you too may find yourselves within my situation, caged in on all sides. If such a fate comes to pass, remember these directions and your lives shall be spared. Right 3 steps, left 2 steps, right 2 steps, and then you'll see.
No sooner than it says this, the griffin transforms back into a rat, scurrying off into a crack in the wall.
I sure hope sparing that thing was worth it. Who knows when it'll sneak up on us next. Yeah, Magil, I'm gonna let you remember all that. Magil, that was the worst joke I've ever heard, ever.
This is why I don't talk.
Let's Start Project.